We've been working on Unkey since June and we've been full-time since October. So I thought it was time for us to review what we've been doing, customers, challenges, and of course, what that comes with being CEO. Let's start with the simple stuff like where the product started, the features we added, GitHub stats, etc. And then we can talk about the money, what we spent it on, and things I've learned as being CEO. So Unkey's first commit was June 9th, 2023. And since then, we've had 1,222 commits, closed over 150 issues, closed somewhere in the realm of 813 PRs, and we now have 1.9k stars. And we trended twice on GitHub, which has been awesome. When we started Unkey, we never really intended it to be a company. Andreas and I had DMs in which we told each other we're happy with our stable jobs. This image has shown up a few times in Slack and in discussions around going full time. Without the support of our families and friends, we never would have been able to make this happen. When we raised the $1.5 million, we did that on a valuation of 10 million post-money safes, which is just a way of locking in the percentage of the company when it converts to shares. We raised the 1.25 million through VCs and the rest came from friends in the industry, and shout out to my parents who also invested as an angel investor. So far, we've spent around $212,000 since October, and this includes wages for the entire team, buying equipment for 2 developers, and anything else they might have needed. We also worked with a designer to redesign the entire marketing site, help with social media posts, and of course, the web application in the future. We also decided that this year we would sponsor a single event, and that happens to be All Things Open, which is one of the biggest open source conferences in America. So if you happen to be in Raleigh, North Carolina in October, come and find us. We've got a booth. I'll be doing a talk and we'll be hanging around with people in the community. So let's talk about what Unkey's been up to. So Unkey has served 22 million verifications to over 4,800 APIs using 36,000 API keys. We now have 10 paying customers who range in a bunch of use cases, although we're currently seeing patterns, whether that's in AI or maybe in Web3, and some scrappy startups who are more interested in providing API keys than they are about worrying the complexities of using gateways or other complex products that offer some of the stuff that we do. Since the product launch, we've changed a lot since the beginning. When we first launched, we were a very basic offering, but since then we've added new features that allow more fine-grained control of your keys, including things like limited usage keys, refillable keys. We just introduced RBAC, so you can now have roles with your keys to allow you to control what and who can access data. We also introduced audit logging, which has been really good to allow you to understand who is issuing root keys or who's logging in, who's doing all sorts of things like that. We also now provide real-time analytics via our API, so you can then build out your billing based upon the usage of your users. We're also working on some super cool features coming soon, including things like DDoS protection and other things in Q2. But what about being a CEO? Well, being the person who's supposed to be the helm of the company, who it weighs heavily on someone every single day. I've changed a lot of my routines. So before I would spend a lot of time coding or doing things in that nature, but now honestly, I spend a lot less time coding. In fact, we make a lot of jokes in our planning where others are coding and playing out coding projects, and I'm signing paperwork. Because we're a pre-seed, I do a lot of roles that are delegated to other people usually. So I do the HR stuff, I do payroll, accounting, taxes, all those kinds of other things that usually you delegate either to a CFO or to your HR department. So those are kind of tacked on as extras, although it's not really CEO stuff. But when I'm not doing the above, I'm always thinking about the product holistically and seeing where we could fill those gaps in the market. I'm talking to other founders to find out their perspective, both on Unkey and if they'd use it, and also what they're building and how they're reaching customers. I reach out to our paying customers and talk to them and try and chat about what we're doing and how we're building it and maybe what we're bringing in the future. On top of that, being very marketing focused anyway, I have a YouTube channel, I have a blog, I've had a podcast in the past. All those things come into play. So I've spent a lot of time thinking about how can I use my contacts in the space to either promote Unkey or maybe get featured on a podcast or talk to them and see how maybe they could use it in the future. The first 6 to 8 months have been incredible, and I appreciate everybody on my YouTube channel giving support, the people in the community, the open source community embracing us as much as they have, and of course, the friends and family members of everybody that works in the team giving us the opportunity to do these things. Being CEO is definitely something I probably would never have done without the support of those people. I've always been around coding or marketing and things like that. And being in all these different startups in my career has definitely shown me how to be a CEO, even though I'm still trying to figure out what we do every day. We've come to the end of the video. We've kind of talked about Unkey and where we're at after 6 to 8 months. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you click right here. There'll be another one. And of course, if you're not subscribed, click right here and I'll see you in the next one.